Hi guys, this is Taylor. This has quickly become one of my favorite videos to make every year, so I'm so happy that it's finally this time of year again. Today I'm going to be telling you about my most anticipated releases of 2019. Some of my most anticipated books from 2018 have become some of my favorite books of all time, so I'm so excited to be sharing this list with you today. I'm going to be going chronologically, so starting with January of 2019 and then making my way through the rest of the year. So to kick things off, on January 8th we have Mouthful of Birds by Samantha Schweblin. This was translated from Spanish by Megan McDowell, #Women in Translation. And this is a short story collection that's supposed to be really strange and unsettling. Sounds exactly like my cup of tea. Let me just read you this sentence from the description. Schweblin's stories have the feel of a sleepless night, where every shadow and bump in the dark take on huge implications, leaving your pulse racing and the line between the real and the strange blur. And also I just want to say that this cover is money. Next up is a pretty big one. On January 15th we have The Dreamers by Karen Thompson Walker. She wrote The Age of Miracles, and I'm one of those people who absolutely loved that book. This, as far as I know, is adult fiction as opposed to YA as The Age of Miracles was. But this is another awesome sounding semi-apocalypse type of deal. This is about a pandemic that causes you to fall asleep and not wake up, but doctors discover that those who are asleep with this disease are actually experiencing extremely heightened brain activity, so very, very vivid dreams. And this is supposed to explore the human consciousness and the capability of the mind and things like that. Also on January 15th we have Last Night in Nook by Niviaq Corneliuson. I want to say that this is actually my single most anticipated book of 2019, but it's so hard to say because this is an author that will be brand new to me. But this is about a party that takes place in Greenland, and we follow a handful of young people who are trying to come to terms with things that happened at the party and to deal with things like their labels in terms of gender and sexuality. Everything about this is intriguing to me. I've been interested in Greenland since forever, yet I don't have any idea what a rager in Greenland would possibly look like. And of course I always love stories about self-discovery and being on the cusp of adulthood and things like that. Really looking forward to this one. Next up on January 12th we have The Night Tiger by Yangzi Chu. She's the author of The Ghost Bride, which has been pretty popular, and this is the next book that she's coming out with. This seems to have a lot of different plot threads, but I believe it's primarily about a young boy and girl growing up in colonial Malaysia. People are going missing and there are rumors about men who turn into tigers. I think the main characters' lives intersect as they go about their own different missions and possibly trying to figure out what's going on. Again, also on February 12th we have The Heavens by Sandra Newman. I think this is my other #1 most anticipated book of 2019, if I'm allowed to have two. So this takes place in wealthy Manhattan in the year 2000. Two characters, Ben and Kate, begin to fall in love, but Kate has had a reoccurring dream since childhood where she is transported back to Elizabethan England and takes the role of a mistress. The dream is very, very real to her, and we see her starting to lose her grip on reality, and I believe we also see the struggle from Ben's perspective as well. I'm also going to read you part of the blurb for this one because it just sounds so good. Transporting the reader between a richly detailed past and a frighteningly possible future, The Heavens is a powerful reminder of the consequences of our actions, a poignant testament to how the people we love are destined to change, and a masterful exploration of the power of dreams. And yet another one that we have on February 12th, it's a really good publishing day, is Eventown by Corey Ann Haydu. This is actually a middle grade novel about a family who moves to a place called Eventown where there's no suffering and everything is perfect. And it explores things like the price that you have to pay for perfection, or at least the things that we perceive as perfection. And obviously this gives me vibes of The Giver, and I love The Giver, so that's totally fine with me. On March 5th we have A Woman Is No Man by Ataf Rum. This is about 3 generations of Palestinian American women living in Brooklyn. The later generations are really struggling with the concept and the culture of arranged marriage and kind of the concept of marriage itself. It seems to be about family and culture and betrayal and heartbreak. Everything about this is intriguing to me, Really excited for it. Also on March 5th, we have The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. Lisa C is the author of one of my favorite books of all time, Snowflower and the Secret Fan, so I'm always on the lookout for what she's doing next. This one takes place on Jeju Island in South Korea almost 100 years ago. It follows two friends who are both part of the island's all-female diving collective, which is a really dangerous profession. We follow their relationship and their families through Japanese colonization and the Korean War. I absolutely love the way that she writes complex relationships between women, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. On March 26th, we have The Handmaid's Tale graphic novel, yes, adapted by Renee Nault. I don't know anything else about this, but I'm already on board. My name is on it at the library. I'm ready. Next up on April 2nd, we have Crossing by Pashtim Statovki. This one is about a young man who is growing up after communism has fallen in Albania. His father has also just died, and so him and his best friend decide to try their luck in Italy together. But it seems like they both have a really hard time feeling at home and feeling comfortable, and I think they're both struggling with things about their identities. And apparently this one also has a lot of elements of Albanian myth and folklore, of which I know nothing about, so this one sounds super interesting to me. On May 7th, I actually have a celebrity memoir. Craig Ferguson is coming out with another memoir called Riding the Elephant. I've been a lifelong Craig Ferguson fan at this point, and I loved his first memoir, American on Purpose. And this one, just at a cursory glance, seems to go even deeper into his life and the trials and tribulations of his life, so of course, I'm really looking forward to it. Again, on May 7th, I have The Farm by Joanne Ramos, and this is one of the buzzier ones on this list, I think. This is like feminist speculative fiction, so of course it's on this list. This one is about a contract that women are offered when they're pregnant. You can basically live in luxury in this facility and be paid for it, but you basically sign away your right to leave the facility, and you basically have to dedicate your life for 9 months to producing the perfect baby. It sounds super creepy. I'm completely here for it. I love this kind of stuff. Next up, I actually have another celebrity memoir, Naturally Tan by Tan France, which is coming out on May 14th. Tan is of course from Netflix's Queer Eye, and a year ago I had no idea who he was, and now I need to know his entire life story. So obviously I'm really excited for this. Then on June 4th, we have Searching for Sylvie Lee by Jean Kwok. I've enjoyed all of Jean Kwok's novels in the past, but this one seems to be a little bit darker in nature, and I'm really intrigued by that, of course. This seems to be a family mystery about the oldest daughter of the Lee family who flies back to the Netherlands to see her dying grandmother and then just disappears. And then we have family secrets and betrayal, and I'm just really interested to see what she does with this type of story. Second to last on this list, on June 18th, we have a new collection of short stories from Karen Russell called Orange World. Karen Russell is an author that I've been meaning to get into for years, and maybe the hype around this one will actually get me to pick it up in a timely manner. Who knows? And the last book on this list for right now is The Need by Helen Phillips, which comes out on July 9th. A lot of you know that I finally read The Beautiful Bureaucrat this year, and I absolutely loved it. This one is about a young mother named Molly who works as a paleobotanist and actually unearths kind of a controversial Bible that attracts conspiracy theorists. Then in the middle of the night she wakes up to a masked intruder who appears to know everything about her and her family. And if that's not a lead-in, I don't know what is. This one also might be one of my most anticipated ones on this list personally. It sounds absolutely horrifying. So that is my list for 2019 so far. Obviously it only goes up to the beginning of July right now, and maybe I'll end up making a second video about the second half of the year, but of course it all depends on what ends up catching my eye. But until then, I hope you have some books to look forward to in the first half of 2019, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!